Hello, Louisville. Guess who's coming to dinner? Well, happy Monday. Yours truly, Janice Carter Miller here, host of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Says I'm having a problem with Facebook. What's on with that? We'll just see what's going. It went off, so maybe we're all right. Welcome back to Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. This weekend has been a whirlwind weekend. I've got on my Delta Sigma Theta garb. Last year, I didn't go to homecoming because COVID was still kind of in the air, and all that kissing and hugging was not going to be happening with me. But this year, we celebrated my 50th class in reunion, graduating from Kentucky State University. Thank you very much. And we also celebrated the school's 136 years in existence. You know, problems and all. What we have learned to do at Kentucky State as alumni is adapt and overcome. And my class gave a check for $50,000, $50,150 to the foundation at Kentucky State University. So kudos to the class of 1972. I'm like, wow. There were 47 of us in attendance, and we fellowshiped with each other. We had a dinner on Friday night. I did a concert on Friday night. Saturday, we were at the football game where we won. And Sunday, we had, Saturday night, we had dinner together at a restaurant. And Sunday morning, we had breakfast together. So we were together with each other and there to support our alma mater. So I've had a whirlwind weekend. And I'm excited to be here with you today because today we're going to bring it back to the Ville. We're going to bring it back to the Ville. And this young man, I found out who he was years ago through a family associate. But I also found out who he was when he played in the infamous Dirt Bowl. And I'm speaking none other than former U of L basketball Cardinal, Mr. Phillip Bond. How are you, darling?
I'm doing just fine, Janice. Thank you for inviting me on.
You know, Phillip, you're one of those, you're a quiet threat. You walk tall and carry a big stick. But when you're in the house, they know you're there. You know?
Thank you.
And so tell us about what it was like to be a part of the U of L basketball team, and tell me what you think about the progress there. What do you think about how things going?
Well, things going well. It was really an honor to be a part of the University of Louisville basketball family. Mm-hmm. When I first got there, it was in the fall of 72. So my freshman year was 72, 73, which was a really exciting year for me because many of your younger fans don't know, but back then, freshmen could not play varsity. They had separate freshman teams. The year I got there was the very first year that freshmen could play varsity. Okay. Although we still had a freshman team, but Coach Crum moved me up to the varsity, so I ended up playing varsity. I was the first freshman to play varsity, which was quite an honor for me. And my sophomore year, we went to the Final Four. Okay. And I thought, and many people think we had the best team in the country. We lost a heartbreaker to UCLA in overtime by 1 point. Oh, wow. That's one of the things I remember a lot. I'll tell you one other thing that, well, I've got a lot of fond memories of being at University of Louisville. But one of the things that's not really basketball related that is a real memory for me was during when we had the tornado in 1974. Mm-hmm. Coach Crum got the players together, and we went to a gentleman's house to help him clean up the mess. His house was hit by the tornado, and it was on a Saturday morning, and none of us wanted to do that. But once we did, and we realized how much it touched him to have us come over there and really care. Once we saw the wreckage, it really touched us, and we spent the whole day helping him. His name was Bob Allison, and later I ended up getting to know him better because we bonded after that day. And once I entered the workforce with United Way, realized that he was the CEO for Doe Advertising Agency,
Okay.
which did the advertising for our organization. So, things, even though you play basketball, you meet other people and you have other experiences that really stick with you. And that's one that stuck with me.
Well, that's, Phillip, that's what being a Louisville Cardinal player does for you if you live in the city or you stay here, because they embraced you. Your opportunities were sitting right there waiting for you when you got out of school. Did that did have that basketball played a role, but your education played a bigger role. Let's put it
That's
like that.
that's absolutely right.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much this community really embraced
Yeah.
University of Louisville basketball. I mean, I realized it, but I didn't really totally grasp that until
Mhm.
I left the University of Louisville
Okay.
and
Yeah.
saw how the community really appreciated what we did. It opened a lot of doors for me, and just reinforced the fact that I made the right decision when I decided to come to Louisville.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think about the change now that we have the one and the only coach Kenny Payne?
I am excited. Um,
Yeah.
when Kenny first came to U of L as a basketball player, I was still playing a lot, and I went out to the gym and played with those guys, Kenny, Purvis, all
Hmm.
those guys, and got to know them really well. So I couldn't be happier that Kenny's taking over, and I know he's going to do a good job.
Yeah, I think the whole city is very excited about him taking this position because
Yes.
he seems so deserving of it, and to be able to come back to his alma mater, even though he'd been up the road for a minute, that he could come on back home, and we still embraced him
Yes, and he's very genuine. That's the
very
thing
much
I've
so.
always liked about him. He's really genuine, and he's down home. He's down to earth. And one thing for sure, the guys are going to be in shape because Kenny's very demanding, and he's going to unite this community. I think that's one of his
Absolutely.
goals. Yes.
I feel that. I felt that from the press conference and everything. Just everybody that showed up, I'm like, uh-oh, we've got a uniter here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
that's
right.
wonderful.
Hmm.
So tell me something, Philip. Now that you are with our Metro United Way, how did that come about?
Well, when I was at U of L, I when I first came there, I had taken quite a bit of Spanish, and I liked math.
Okay.
And so I was trying to decide, do I want to major in Spanish or math? And so I took both for a while, and I decided not to major in Spanish because it led to so much literature. I said, if I'm
Hmm.
going to read this much literature, I might as well major in English. But
Okay. Yeah.
did have a great opportunity with Spanish because I made the United States Pan American team, and we actually played in Mexico City. So I was the interpreter for the team. But
Wow. It came in handy.
it came in very handy. Um, and math was getting so theoretical, I wasn't sure what I could do with it. So I talked to some counselors, thought about going to engineering school, speed engineering, but there were so many classes at night that you had to take that it just conflicted with my basketball schedule. And
Okay.
someone suggested that maybe I should try accounting. And after my first course, I fell in love with it. So I
Okay.
ended up majoring in accounting. First job um, was with the biggest CPA firm in Louisville, which was at the time Coopers and Lybrand. It's now Price Waterhouse Coopers.
Okay.
Got a lot of experience, and one of my favorite clients was a not-for-profit organization, which was the Easter Seal Society. So I
Okay.
learned a lot about nonprofit accounting. And when the job opened up at Metro United Way, I applied for it and got it. And thought I was going to stay there 5 years and then get back in the private industry. But I've been there now going on 39 years, and I've loved every
What?
minute of it. Yes.
Get out of here. Wow. Oh, so you found a home.
I found a home, and it's been great. I mean, we're doing so many good things for the community, and you get to interact with so many people in the community. It's similar to being at the University of Louisville. You meet so many people from all aspects of life, and it's just been wonderful.
You know, I had your CEO and president on, Miss Audria Johnson,
Yes.
and just to, United Way in every community is one of those nonprofits that has a reputation.
Hmm.
It is supposed to be for the community. Sometimes they are, but sometimes in this city is so. I think this city is deals with more philanthropy than people can imagine. Talk about how Louisvillians give and to United Way, and how those that may not give to United Way could maybe make it a part of their giving.
Well, people have given very generously to United Way, and one of the main ways that they've done it through the years is through payroll deduction.
Right.
Um, but people also give directly to us, and a lot of things that they do is in the way of volunteering. We have a lot of people who volunteer for us. I just did not realize how much this community engaged with the United Way.
Hmm.
They take it very seriously because we do so many things that help the community. We have a broad reach, and people from all aspects of life, from the CEOs to the people in the workforce. Um, it's just been incredible. And
Are
and,
there?
and the
Do you
thing
all have
about it,
any new campaigns coming up?
oh
Going on?
yeah, we have campaign each year. And the thing about it, I didn't realize my basketball career started with the boys club. It's the Boys and Girls Club now, but back then it was the boys club. And that's where I learned, learn how to play basketball, organized basketball. Without the boys club, I never would have had a basketball career.
Hmm.
And the United Way was the major resource for the boys club. That's where they got most of their money from.
Oh,
We were
okay.
their biggest supporter. So things just kind of go around that. And now I work for the United Way and made a career out of it.
Let me ask you this: when you say the Boys and Girls Club, which one were you a member of?
Well, I was a member of initially the St. George Boys Club. It was on
Okay,
26th
hold
and
up, hold up.
okay.
So, were you a part of that celebration or a reunion that Colonel Kenny Dunn did this summer?
I certainly was.
All right,
I
tell
had a
me about
chance to
that.
had a chance to see Kenny. We go way back, and the funny thing about it is, um, Kenny brought one of his boys club trophies. He kept his trophy for that long, and he brought it to the celebration.
Wow, because he called and told me he was coming, and
Hmm.
I let him know that that was the same weekend that it was the finals for the Dirt Bowl. But he was saying he was starting at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And when you said Boys and Girls Club, it just said, "Uh oh, I bet he was there with Colonel
Yeah.
Dunn."
Yeah, the Boys and Girls Club was so instrumental for so many of us back then.
Yeah,
Now you've got all these AAU teams and this and that and the other, but the Boys and Girls Club was the major outlet for so many of the youth in Louisville back, during my generation.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you didn't. A lot of times, a lot of these outside activities, especially for sports, you have to pay, be able to afford to be a part of these community teams, these traveling teams to
Mm-hmm.
play in these different conferences. But when you're a member of a Boys and Girls Club, you just had to show up every day.
That's right. And it was more than just sports. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
they had arts and craft. They had lots of different things for the kids. And one of the things that I remember most about the boys club was we went on a camping trip. We went to Rough River Camp,
Mm-hmm.
and it was one of the most memorable experiences of my life. We stayed there for about a week,
Okay.
and it was wonderful. So they did a lot for the kids. Matter of fact, in my neighborhood, I lived in the Victory Park area.
Okay.
Uh, on the nights that we went to the boys club, probably 10, 15 of the kids would get together and walk to the boys club together. It was quite an event.
That's when we used to do things together.
That's right. That's right. And now the CEO for the Boys and Girls Club is a good friend of mine, Daryl Unsailed, who
Okay.
came from the United Way. He worked at the United Way with me, and now he's the CEO for the Boys and Girls Club. Great guy.
Oh, that's right. He took that over last year, right?
That's right.
Okay. I tried to get him on the show and he was like, "Well, I'm just starting this new job. So give me a minute to get situated and then I have to go back and get him. Thank you for reminding me."
Yeah, he'll do well. You tell him I said that he needs to come on your
Okay.
show.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Appreciate that. So back to United Way. You were going to tell us about the campaign, that the yearly campaign that you have.
Yeah, we have an annual campaign where we go out in the community and get people to give, and we use those funds to try to tackle some of the core problems in this community.
Mm-hmm.
And we also give money to agencies, to various nonprofit agencies who are doing things to help the community as well. So we form partnerships with other organizations, and it's all about making this a better community. Not only Louisville, but we have we reach out into the counties in southern Indiana.
Okay.
Um, uh,
Because it's Kentuckiana.
That's right.
Okay.
We're a
All right.
seven county area. We got Bullitt County, Shelby County, Oldham County in Kentucky, as well as Jefferson County.
Okay.
And then we've got Floyd, Harrison, and Clark County in Indiana. So we're a regional operation.
Okay. Okay. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell me, or tell the audience, how can they become involved as volunteers, and why the United Way needs volunteers?
We need volunteers. One way they can do that is go on our website, Metro United Way, and they'll see a way that they can get in touch to volunteer for us. And there's all types of things that they can do. They can help us fundraise. We even have activities where they can join in going to different agencies and helping do things that way. There's just all kinds of things to do that, and they can even help us on some of our committees.
Okay.
We have a finance committee. We've got committees that sort of give us direction and guidance on how to spend the dollars that we raise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's a multitude of things that they can do in terms of volunteering, and there's always a need for volunteers.
So your website is metrounitedway.org.
Yes.
Okay. I just thought I would take this opportunity to maybe put it up on the ticker tape right down at the bottom. That's right, metrounitedway.org.
That's right.
Okay, all right. So if anybody is listening and is interested in volunteering, because a lot of people, especially as we get older, we want to be more service to the community, and there are organizations in the community that still need our help, especially when you deal with. We've been talking about the Boys and Girls Club, and we've been talking about sports, things that an older generation, we need to kind of reconnect with our younger generation. And there are probably a lot of instances, like you said, the Boys and Girls Club, where volunteers are needed. We need volunteers. This is something that just came to me, Philip. I just got off of a Zoom with past alumni of Shawnee High School that we're trying to reestablish our um, alumni association with the passing of Dwayne Haynes. And because the students at the school need those of us that have went to that school and can share our experiences. And
Yes.
United Way and volunteering for them. I mean, I know at Thanksgiving you're giving away food, you're at shelters, you're doing things of that nature, and people want to know, and some people just don't know where to start finding a way to get involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they'll go on our website, that's the very good way to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. So, is there something that you're looking forward to for 2023? I know it's a look. It's just a couple of months out because we're gonna blink and it's gonna be here.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing for Metro United Way in 2023?
For Metro United Way,
Yeah.
well, again, uh, we're in the middle of our process in our process now of our annual campaign, raising those dollars. And in 2023, that's when we decide how we're going to spend the money.
Okay.
What areas of the community do we need to focus on in order to not only help people in need, but try to do some things that are going to attack some of the root issues that this community has, so that
Right.
we're not just throwing money out every year at the same problem. We're trying to
Find some
attack some of those,
solutions.
find some solutions. Yes.
Yeah. One of the things that I noticed, I don't know, maybe you can help me with this one. That naturally is we have a focus on our youth in this community because of some of the violence, the continuous violence that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they were looking for um, some preventative organizations where youth can go and get involved. Do you, just off the top of your head, do you have any in mind where we maybe some parents might be listening that say, my child needs to be involved in some type of program, so to keep them out of the streets and away from the gangs and things of that nature?
Yeah, there are several agencies, as I mentioned. Boys and Girls Club is
Okay.
one. We've got Neighborhood House, which is, I know you probably heard of them. They're
Right.
in the Portland area. And one of the things that we're doing as United Way, we're supporting a lot of out of school programs that
Okay.
keep,
Okay.
keep the kids busy. And we're trying to do some things on a macro scale to help close the education gap and help close the wealth gap.
Right.
We feel
Right.
that by doing those types of things, you know, we can really solve a lot of these problems.
Right. Okay. Well, um, you know, I must say that Metro United Way is needed in our community, and Metro is always out there giving.
That's
That's an
exactly right.
organization that you need to give to it in order for them to give back to you, because you never know when you might need some help, and there are so many different smaller organizations that don't have the branding of a Metro United Way, but they get the support from a Metro United Way.
That's right. That's
And
exactly right.
that's very integral for our community. Just like we see all the disasters and the catastrophes that have happened with the environment now going on with the hurricane and the tornadoes and the flooding
Yeah.
and the fires. That's some of the heavy lifting that I know Metro United Way does.
And we're a community. We're together. We have to help each other out, and that's what Metro United Way is all about.
I hear you.
We
Well,
we're a community.
I am, like I said, I know you walk tall and carry a big stick, but you're kind of quiet. So this show is about giving some voice so more people would know, not about Phillip Bond so much, the basketball player, because that's known. But they don't know about Phillip Bond behind the scenes at Metro United Way, not as um, on a day-to-day basis that they would say, oh, well, Philip's over at Metro United Way, unless they're in your circle or have known you for years. But the rest of the community needs to know what you're doing and the role that you play at Metro United Way, and how you've, wow, you joined the family 39 years ago. Goodness gracious. That's saying something, Philip.
Well, I appreciate that. That's nice of you to say. When I left the University of Louisville, I went to the Houston Rockets for part of a year, came back,
Okay.
and I got my CPA license. So I am a CPA, and
Okay.
I've at United Way, I'm the chief financial officer. So I've been in charge of the accounting department and the finance area all that time, and so it's been great. It's really been good.
Well, kudos to you. Go on with your bad self.
Well, and one of the things you talk about volunteering, we try to walk like we talk. So we get people to volunteer for United Way. We ask them to do that, and I've done my share of volunteering also with other organizations.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been right now. I'm on the board of directors of the Filson Historical Society.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, well, and we're making a really strong effort to let people know about a lot of the things that the African American community has done, because that's been overlooked for a while, and the Filson Historical Society is making some strong efforts to show a lot of the great things that our ancestors have done in this community.
You know, Phil, I found some papers after my mother passed away, and my mother she was I guess she's kind of like our family historian,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother had some papers from the Filson Society where she had two uncles that served in the Civil War,
Really?
and she got all their documentation. She gave their name to them. They told her when they mustered out. Their names are on the monument that our Louisville native, Mr. Ed Hamilton, did up in D.C. And we went to see that and actually put our hands on their names.
Oh.
But that wouldn't have happened if my mother hadn't gone to them and they helped her find the information that she was looking for.
That's amazing. The Filson is lots of people, particularly in the African American community, are not aware of the great things that they do, and we're trying to start an endowment so that we can actually hire a curator that can help with this effort. But that's wonderful. They've done a lot.
Yeah.
We're making an effort to do even more, particularly targeting the African American community.
Well, I've just come upon a project I found a whole new family. Okay. I am a descendant of Eliza Tevis. It's called the Eliza Tevis Society. I've had one of my new cousins on a little while ago. And this lady was a slave. Her enslaver became ill from yellow fever. She nursed him back to health. He willed her land, 20 acres of land, that was Newburgh.
Really?
You hear me? You hear me?
Yes.
So this week we're going to the University of Louisville to meet with some college professors in the history department. But I'm going to make sure that when I go, I'm going to ask if there's some kind of connection where we can bring the Filson Society into that conversation.
Oh, yeah, please do that.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that, because I was just had a early dinner with a good friend of mine named Nat Green. I don't know if you know
That is Nat. He's the head. Look, he's our Henry Louis Gates.
He's the one that told me about this woman who helped found Newburgh.
Yes.
And isn't that interesting? That I was just talking with Nat about that.
Louisville is a mustard seed, and you tell me you know Nat. Get out of here.
Just had dinner with him and his wife.
Miss Homestetter.
Yes,
Homestetter.
Yeah, we celebrated her birthday.
Today's her birthday?
Yes.
I'm glad you told me so I can call over there before it gets too late.
Okay.
But Phillip Bond,
it's a small town.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us. You know, because your story is just as important as anybody else's. And the work you do is even more so important.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed being on here. It's a pleasure being on here with you.
All right. And we'll stay in touch. And if you need me, reach out. Just holler. You got my emails and all that good stuff. And I appreciate you and keep doing the good work.
Okay. Well, thank you. Can I say one more quick thing?
Sure. Look, this show can last an hour. If we talked an hour, we would be right here. What do you want to say?
I just want to tell the folks how I remember you from when I played basketball at U of L my senior year. We went to Las Vegas, and you reached out and had me over for dinner. That's something I'll never forget.
You remember that, huh?
Oh, I absolutely. And I we had that was a big game we played University of Las Vegas.
Played them Running Rebels.
Yeah, and you came and reached out to me because your cousin and I were very good friends, as you know, at Parkland Junior High, and it was such a pleasure for you to do that. Those things people don't forget.
But you know, those are things that I think is kind of second nature for Louisvillians. I like to think that we're that kind of loving, caring community because we won't say, I know so-and-so is out west. And, you know, people say they know somebody, but then it's something when, you know, my cousin Lynn, who was near and dear to my heart, that's how I met you. I found out about Phillip Bond. So for you to be in my neck of the woods, that's just like when Griff, when the Utah Jazz started to play basketball in Las Vegas, I reached out to Griff. So when the games were over, so he could meet people in the community that wanted to meet him and things of that, took him around and he hung out, we hung out, you know, but that's what you do because, you know, we home folks.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and that's what you do with home folks. You show your hospitality.
Well, you showed your hospitality. That's one of those things that just stuck with me. I always remember that and always appreciate it.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. Phillip, it's time for dinner. It's, as they say, it's dinner time. Go have your dinner. Thank you so much for being my guest. Bon appetit, sweetheart.
Oh, muchas gracias. Thank
you. All right. Take care of yourself, Phillip. Okay. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That was Mr. Phillip Bond. Isn't he a breath of fresh air? You know, it makes your heart feel good when you see someone that finds their place in the world and makes good use of their time. And it's to benefit others. They say about your time on earth is service. It's the rent you pay for your place in heaven. Phillip, you probably got you a spot already reserved. All right, everyone. I thank you for tuning in. I hope my classmates from the class of 1972 at Kentucky State tuned in. I told them all to join. And if you did, you got to like us on Facebook. You got to subscribe to YouTube because I need my numbers to grow. See, I need to go national. I just tell you the truth about it. I need to be national. I don't need to just talk to just Louisvillians, but Louisvillians will be front and center. But see, I have been around the world and I know some folks in a few other places. And I want to just talk about the things that and highlight our lives that and about people that are doing things that enrich the lives of others. And we also, like Phillip said, we need to find some solutions to some of these problems that we have. We can't just keep killing each other. You know, our children don't understand. I was talking to the class the people that were on the Zoom about Shawnee setting up the Shawnee alumni. And he was saying there were boundaries, that Market Street North, those were the students that could come to Shawnee. So I'm really glad. I really hope the student assignment comes through, because that, to me, is one of the core reasons that our youth don't get along with each other, aside from the gang being able to infiltrate. See, we walked to school together when we went to Shawnee. We walked to school together from Greenwood, or look, Hale Avenue, all the way over, from 34th Street, all the way over. And that's why everybody knew everybody. Our kids go being bused to schools. They go to Butler, or they send them out then it was the county. And they don't know the kids that live in their own, right there in their own community. And then you have differences of opinions and likes and dislikes. But when you go to the same school, you have a bond. Like Phillip Bond, you have a bond. You walk to school together. We caught the bus together. We walked home from school together. We all went to the football game together. We did things together. And when the busing came in, it fractured our community. I just tell you like it is. That's how I feel. I was not bused to school. I walked to Shawnee from Cecil and Garland every day and walked home. Okay. And I knew all my friends in that neighborhood. And there wasn't this animosity or this violence that was persistent among us then. It wasn't like that. We had a community that we knew each other, so we kind of looked out for each other. Our kids don't have that anymore. They need it. So we have to make sure that when we set up policies for our children's lives to enrich their lives, we must look at how things will have an effect on them. And there's nothing wrong with old school. I don't care what nobody says. Ain't nothing like old school learning. There's nothing like old school camaraderie. And there's nothing like old school friends. On that note, I'm going to say, guess who's coming to dinner? It's dinner time. Bon appetit. This show will replay on Friday, 7 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, and Jantastic Productions Roku. I have my own Roku station, but you can find it all under Jantastic Productions. Phillip, I'm going to talk to you in a second so I can tell you how to send a link out to all your followers, because I'm sure you have followers, darling. All right, take care of yourself. Enjoy your meal. I'll see you next Monday. Bon appetit. Okay. Now my program wants to act crazy and move the. Okay. Man, did good the whole time. I touched something and it moved, and I can't get to the thing to end the show. Okay, we'll do it. Bon appetit. See y'all later. I'm done.